Alright, so this is a training video on how to edit with Adobe Premiere and sort of the workflow that I like. I'm going to open a new sequence, Control N, and then you'll just name the sequence. I don't know, we'll just keep it that name, it's fine. Sequence 4. And then there's a list of files right here, which I recorded today. It's you can see 9305, 9306, 9308. I think I started this batch at 8 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over. Basically everything from 9308 all the way up to 9313 is going to be put into the timeline. So just like that. Okay, so now we are going to drag each of these files onto the timeline. I like to drag 2 or 3 at a time, so then that way I can go 9, 10, so 9309, 9310, 9311. Could drag this on the timeline like that. See, the problem is, see, look what I just did. You see what happens here? There's it goes backwards, which is kind of annoying. So I usually like do 2 at a time because then I don't run into that problem. Actually, let me try this. Let's go back. So if I select from here, hold Shift, then go down and click, I should be able to go into here. No, see, I still have the same problem. The number still goes backwards. Yeah, numbers still go out of order. So just do 1 at a time. It's fine. Or 2 at a time. So there you go. Boom. Boom. Remember, I'm just holding Shift when I do this. Then drag it over. See, this one's out of order, I think. No, it's the correct order. Okay, and then, and there we go. So just make sure this stuff is in order because a lot of the time it's not. So, let's see, 310. So I'm gonna move this over here. See, it would have been just better if I just went one by one. Then I wouldn't have lost anything. So 12 is right there. So I'll move 12 over here. And then 13's over here, and then 14 is over here, and then boom. Alright, so that's pretty simple, right? For the most part. Okay, so we have it now dragged to the timeline, right? They're all in order. And this is important because it kind of helps keep everything on track. Let's go ahead and name this as sequence 4. And we'll name it the first video of this, because like we're going to make it this video right here. Okay, so let's go find out what this video is about. Okay, so this is about goals. So we're going to call this goals, or we can always change the name later, but New Year's resolution goal setting with Ryan. You can always change it later, but you're obviously, because I recorded it, it's easier for me to tell what it's about. You're going to have to watch more of it, right? And you can hear where you can tell where it ends right there. Let's go see. Let's plus play just to make sure. There you go. So then I'm going to go ahead and clip this. Now how do I clip this? You can do 2 ways of clipping it. You can grab this part right here, which is the razor tool, and then you can go ahead and just chop it right there. Or you can or you can set your hotkeys. I usually use Control K, and I think that's a custom hotkey. But we'll just clip it right there. Boom, right? And then I click on this arrow again so I can go back to selection. You can press V instead of clicking it, right? And then what you're going to do is I press I. Now the reason why I press I is because it selects everything on the front of this, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way out to here and press O. So I here, O here, okay? So when I press I here and O here, that selects this whole timeline. And then if I press the, I think apostrophe sign, So just to be clear with this, this is the apostrophe sign. This one right here, if you can see that. So apostrophe, okay? I think this is a default hotkey, I'm pretty sure. You can press that and it's going to cut it off the screen. I'm going to press Control Z. Actually, what you can also do too is you could just cut it. It's fine too. Oops. Control X, I think. Yeah, there you go. You can Control X as well. Okay, but I usually use this hotkey. All right, then what I'm going to do, actually, no, let me take that back. Okay, so then I'm going to open up a new sequence. Control N. I don't know what the name of the sequence is, but you're going to go back to here. You're going to drag all this, easier, into sequence 5, like that. Boom. See how easy that was? And then now what you can do is you can just go ahead and delete this. Well, before we delete, let's go make sure sequence 5 has, okay, so sequence 5 has the rest of the videos. Now to zoom in and zoom out, I just press minus. Oh, see, look at that. See, that's the reason why I checked it, because I was actually, I didn't select everything. I thought I did. So let's go ahead and select all of this here, right? That way we learn how to just select it all. Because see, if I select, even though it's selected with these ins and outs, you can still be selected only once. So if I click and drag, it's going to go to that. You know, that's the reason why why it didn't work. See, it only moved. Actually, see, it's kind of, you might have run into some trouble here. So there you go. See. So now it's there. Okay, so anyways, that's not what I really wanted. So going back, you're going to go ahead and you're going to select all of this, right? Let's go zoom in here to make sure, because this little video file here is can't see it. So let's go see. Can we move this without problem? Oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so I'm going to select all of this. Okay, then I'm going to Control X, and then I'm going to go up to here and press Control V. Done. So you see how now I put the remaining video inside the timeline. So now going back sequence 5. I don't know what sequence 5 is going to be about. I can't remember yet. But we have this New Year's resolution. Now this is already prepared to be edited. Okay. And then now we're going to go over to the next file. So it's clear like this video file here is really just nothing. So a lot of the time it just depends on whether I give you, because a lot of the time what will happen is I will just give you this entire chunk, right? But it's important you watch this video because you learn how to cut and paste and you learn how to work a little bit faster. But you'll just have this entire chunk and this chunk all as a single file, and then you're going to have to chop it up. But even if it is a single file, you're going to see all these breaks. See how there's a break here, there's a break here. Break meaning a break in like no sound. That should tell you essentially what's happening. You know, if there's any specific like the cut points, because those are separate videos. So so let's go ahead and let's delete this. I typically press down, so I go to the beginning of the timeline, then I press down. So just try to follow along with me. I know I'm going pretty fast, but you should know how to use Adobe Premiere. Press Out, press O, and then I press apostrophe. Okay, that just makes the editing process a little bit faster. The video for some reason recording videos gets me motivated. Okay, so this is really a nothing video. You should have gotten a list of the videos I want you to edit out of this whole chunk. So this is really nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. I'm going to press Out, which is O, and then we're going to press apostrophe, and it just cuts it out the timeline. Just going to press play again. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan Sapling here. So let's clean this up a little bit. Let's cut it right here. Out, press O. Apostrophe. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan Sapling. So now before I start editing, I'm going to go ahead and just scroll over to the next break, which is right here, which is at 2:30 mark. Okay, so I'm going to go over here. Just share your experience. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all on the next video. Now press Control K. Or you don't want to use Control K, you can press the razor button here, and then you can just click that, and it chops it, and there you go. You got the next batch of video. Now, of course, if you have a single video, it's going to be a little bit different, but this is more or less the same thing. It'll just be easier to select because then you're just dealing with one chunk versus multiple chunks. I'm going to cut this out of place, and then I'm going to open a new sequence. We don't know what the name of the sequence is, so we'll just paste that in there. So now we have the rest of that. I'm going to go ahead and open this up real quick. Okay, so boom, boom. So yeah, we basically have 3 sections done, not done, but prepared to be reviewed and edited at the same time. Then I'm going to sequence 5. This one is about...
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan Saplin here, Fat Loss Strength.
Let's find out what this is about.
Interesting video that might help you with your squats. And I'm taking off my socks to show you for a second. When you're squatting,
I don't know. I know what this is called, but you're gonna have to label it something. But I'm gonna call this big toe glute activation gluteus medius. Boom, done. Right? Is that right? No, that's not right. So I labeled the wrong file. This will happen if you don't pay attention like I just did. Let's go redo. Why am I redoing it? Because I want to get this, because I just spent time typing this. I don't want to retype this. So I'm going to copy that. And then we are going to go and do, what are we doing next? I'm going to press Control Z because I don't want that to be, okay, there we go. So I'm going to go, this is the one that's the gluteus medius video, which is sequence 05. I'm going to double click the name here and press Control V. Boom. So now I have 2 videos that are prepared to be edited. I spent 8 minutes explaining that to you. The previous section was about 2.5 minutes. As you can tell, I'm pretty fast with Adobe Premiere, so I would have had all this prepared already in less than 5 minutes. Alright, so going back to sequence 6, let's take a look here. What do we have going on? Is there anything important here? Oh, I started to do kettlebell swings, that's right. So 100 kettlebell swings. I did 94, so I did 94 kettlebell swings. So this is where I start talking. I'm going to press O for out, right? And then I'm going to press apostrophe. If you have trouble with the out section, just make sure that you're at the beginning of the timeline, you press I, and that gives you in. And then we're going to press apostrophe, and that deletes it. And this is a kettlebell swing section, right? So I'm going to go ahead and you can see this. This is the end of it. And then I press I'm gonna razor this, click, and then I'm going to do this, boom. Okay, then I'm gonna go and there you go. So I'm gonna Control X to cut it, open a new sequence, Control V, there you go, and there you see it. Okay, so what's the name of this? This is the 100 kettlebell. It's sequence 06. You can see that here. So I'm going to change that to 100 kettlebell swings. 100 kettlebell swings. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and go back over here. So this is the rest of the chunk we're going to finish off. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to actually edit a specific video. We're going to edit this video here, which is the New Year's resolution challenge. And what you're going to do when you do my edits is you're going to clean it up, right? You're going to look for errors. Some of the stuff doesn't have errors. They're pretty... Press out. So I'm pressing O, then apostrophe. I kind of like them to fade in, so what you'll do is you'll right click and you hit apply default transition.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan Saplin here, Fat Loss Strength Coach, coming to you today with a video. Happy New Year.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to watch this entire video. Since I filmed it, I already know what happens in this video, and it's all pretty clean.
It's just a specific activity goal. Actually posting that makes you feel good about yourself. Watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to also add in all my call to actions and particular video edits. So the first one would be this one right here. It's called final lower third is what I call it. And we're going to just drag this onto the timeline.
2,000 kettlebell swings and then work out.
So we're going to put that here.
This video because I've done this before and I failed miserably. So put yourself on the line. What do you want to do that you can do? Think of the low-hanging fruit that's going to make you feel good about yourself.
Double click this and put this here at the bottom. Boom. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'm going to copy and paste that again because I'm going to use it again. Let me explain that too. So I'll take it, I'll copy, and then press Control C, or you could just do copy like this. And then here, you press Control V, and it goes in there. I always have trouble with where to put it. Like if I press Control V here, or if I paste it here, I end up, if I press paste, I go File, and then I go Paste. It always goes into the timeline. I don't know why. I've tried doing this, and I still don't know how to do it. Maybe that's how I do it right there. Oh, there you go. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. You can just choose which timeline is selected. Then you can put it here, or deselect that. And that's where it decides to paste if you want to do that. But I'm going to, anyways, my pattern typically is I just paste it over here and then I just drag it. So I'll press selection tool, V, and I'll drag this to the beginning of the video, or somewhere near the beginning. I'll probably put that right there.
Hey, how's it going? Gold and set for the new year. I really recommend that you don't. 365-day goals are really big.
And that's pretty much all you have to do, and that's essentially what there is. Sometimes there's another call to action somewhere, which is there's no call to action on this video other than this, because it's not part of a series. So, so since this is pretty much done editing, actually let's fade this out too. Right click, then apply default transition. Okay, so now you can see that there's a fade out there. That's all there is to it, and then the video is pretty much done and ready to render. Then you press Control M, in which will bring up this dialog box. Or I don't know why Control M is not working, but if it does. Anyways, you go File, Export, Media. And then you're going to get this screen here. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to hit Q. Right, I'm assuming you do this. You might hit Export, but I want you to hit Q. Right, why is that? And make sure the whole timeline is selected. That's also double check. Make sure it's, because it says here source range, input, sequence in, sequence out, or it could be entire sequence, or it can be work area. What's entire sequence mean? So just say, what's work area? I don't know. Okay, so just put sequence in. This is a default, so you don't have to really worry about it. And then what you're going to do, actually before you do that, you want to make sure that there's nothing, in this timeline. There isn't anything else, so we're okay. But then you're going to hit Control M. I don't know why my Control M is not working right now. Why is not? Okay, anyways, export, media. Then you hit Q. Make sure it says source in and out. Make sure that the title is correct. That way you don't have to retitle it later. You can retitle it if you don't know what it's going to be. And then make sure that the format is H.264. Then you put match source high bitrate. And then you're going to go ahead and hit Q. And it's going to open up, what is this called? Adobe Media Encoder. And then when you're ready to render, you can hit play. But because I'm doing more editing, I don't want to hit play yet. All right, or hit render, because this will render everything in the queue. All right, and that's pretty much how you get everything set up for rendering. So so as soon as I finish editing this video here, I'm going to press Control M, or I'm going to file export, right, and then I'm going to hit Q, right, and you're going to see it pop up there. But I'm not done with that, so I'm going to hit delete. Okay, and that's pretty much it.